So it was not comfortable. There was no 24-hour electricity, 24-hour running water. There was no social life. We went to these mandis where farmers sell their goods. And the trader came back to us saying that the market is trending at 10 bucks a kg and you have got 4 rupees a kg. We said, how come is, the quality is amazing. He said, your fruit looks ugly from the outside. And that felt like a tight slap across our face.
Do you think people consume non-organic or people consume chemical products?
One is it's cheap. Secondly, it's easily available because 99% of farmers are growing that. Gone are the days when there was food scarcity. Since the last 30 years, there is no food scarcity. Today, 90% of the diseases or the illnesses people have is due to excess food. India has become the diabetes capital of the world.
Very interesting conversation lined up for you. Before I start this conversation with a very special guest, I want you to take 5 seconds and go back in time into your childhood and think what you wanted to be. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm sure most of you thought of doctors and engineers and entrepreneurs and actors and performers and sports people. How many of you actually wanted to be a farmer? I can almost think and imagine that the percentage is pretty small, right? It's funny that we come from a country which is largely into agriculture, but kids in rural areas and in urban areas, they don't even think of becoming farmers. Now picture this. 2 very successful bankers living a very, very comfortable, cushiony life with a very, very impressive salary, leave their banking jobs and switch to farming. That's exactly what we're talking about today. 2 brothers, India Farm, on this conversation. Satyajit, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
This is really fascinating, leaving your really cushiony, comfortable jobs and switching to farming. And I understand that, in a lot of your interviews, you have mentioned that how passionate you guys were about farming. You came from, you had farms and everything. Tell us a little more. How does it even work?
So I would say I didn't leave something. I actually caught hold of something that was better than doing a job in a city. I'm a farmer's son, me and Ajinkya both. We come from this small village called Bhodani, which is in rural Pune.
Right.
And our parents are farmers and they thought that there is no future in the village and in farming. As you know, in the last 50, 60 years, farming has literally gone down the drain. There is nobody who aspires to become a farmer. There is no economic gain left in farming. There is no social respect. Kids of farmers are not getting married because no one wants to give them the daughters. They're farmers.
Right.
And they put us in a boarding school. We studied all our lives in Pune and did our post-graduation from Pune and got working with, very good multinational banks. And after some time, realized that this is something we do not love. One life to live. Should we spend our entire life doing something we do not love, but that ticks all the boxes that society, parents, everybody else wants? Or should we actually pursue something that we love doing, which no one ever recommends? And that's going back to the village and doing farming.
But you haven't really farmed all this life, right? Because you were studying and you were working in banks and all that. You didn't really know the challenges of farming, right?
No.
And then you had a really comfortable life in the bank. How did you make that switch? Were you unsure? Were you skeptical? Give me the human side of it.
So it started off with every holiday when we used to go to our village. We loved that life and we used to talk to our parents and they said absolutely no, and we were conditioned. We were like, okay, this is not the life we take. Once we started working in the city with large corporates, and once we got the paychecks, we got the designations, we could go across the world for work and see everything else. We started to question whether, while this seems fancy and everything, do we like it? And started playing around with that idea in our mind that should we question and actually, do something that we love. And it took us, I think, 3-4 years of constant self kind of facing this question every day with ourselves. And I think till that point where we couldn't live with it, we thought, if not, after 2 years, we'll come back to the city and we'll learn a lesson for life. But if it does work out, then it will solve that constant questioning in the mind that comes up every single day. Are you doing what you love? Why are you not pursuing what you love? I said, let's take that plunge. And since we were both of us, it was easy for us to kind of support each other.
And after you took the plunge, did you ever feel, we're not sure whether you took the right decision or not? Because I'm sure it must have not been very easy and simple to begin with, right? So did it ever cross your mind, maybe we shouldn't have taken the plunge?
So it was not comfortable. There was no AC chair, there was no sofas, there was no 24-hour electricity, 24-hour running water. There was no social life which you could go to in the village. In that aspect, it was not comfortable. But internally, we were super happy. We were super satisfied doing what we were doing. And I think from that day till today, we have faced many external challenges. Our crops have failed. Business has gone through ups and downs, and social respect has not come initially. All of that was there. But if you ask me whether we repented even for a single day, I would say no.
No.
We had burnt our bridges. We had decided we would never ever go back to a life that we had lived and did not like. It felt boring. It felt monotonous. We would never live that life again. Farming was risky. It was something new every day. We did not know what was in store for us. Nobody had treaded this path. And that kept us excited and interested in what we were doing.
I want to, you talked about social status. Were you guys married before you took the decision, or after you got married that you took the decision?
I wouldn't recommend anyone to, take the decision before they get married.
Did the families give their daughters to you or not is my question.
So they gave it to us when we were doing a corporate job. And then,
oh, you made the switch after.
yeah. So we convinced our better halves to buy into the story that we were doing. And then we kind of quit.
And they were on board?
They were on board.
Satyajit, I want you to break it down for me. So when you make this decision to kind of leave your jobs and then switch to farming, now you said that you're a farmer's son. So I'm guessing you already had farms, right?
Yeah.
What are the 3-4 steps that you did to kind of kickstart the whole farming journey?
So initially, we came back to what was there, which is our parents' farm. We took a small parcel of it and started practicing on that. A year down the line, we realized that the contemporary agricultural practices that my parents were doing and that everybody in the village were doing were not sustainable because that practice had ruined soil fertility. In the last 50, 60 years, we got data and we realized that soil fertility has gone down by more than 50%. And then it struck us that there is nothing beautiful about this. There's nothing joyful. You are knowing you're extracting more than you're giving back. And at some point, this is going to die. The land is going to die. And that, was our kind of north compass. And we started working on soil fertility and on all these aspects. And knowledge about all this is not easily available in the agricultural landscape today. Today, the knowledge around contemporary chemical farming is more available. Around regenerative, organic, natural farming is not available. So it took us some time. It was an adventure of sorts. We used to figure out there is a farmer who's doing it in ABCD location. We used to take our car and go and meet him, stay with him for 5 days, learn how he's doing it by doing it with him. So we learned it fully through experiences by meeting other farmers, so-called illiterate farmers, but who I call highly educated because they had a conscience on what and how they were doing what they were doing. And also some online material, especially from institutions like Rodale in the US, which has done a lot of research in soil microbiology. There was a chief soil microbiologist called Dr. Alien Ingham who led Rodale at that point of time, and she spoke a lot on soil microbiology. So from disparate sources, we got our information and experimented it on our farm with our money, with time, because farming has a life cycle of 1 year. So it's a long, patient process.
And then when this is already in place, farming is already in place, you started growing crops and all that. And then how do you take it to the market? What are the challenges there? Because what you're doing is not very
lucrative, yeah.
Not lucrative to begin with. Also, rest of the farmers are not doing it. So what are the challenges that you faced while you were doing this?
So it took us 3 years to figure out the nuances of how to do farming correctly. And after doing that, one of our first yields that we got, the crop, was papaya. And, we cut the papaya, ate it. It tasted like jaggery. It tasted like, we have not had papaya in the last 20 years. That tasted so sweet.
Wow.
And we were happy. We thought we struck gold. This is the right thing. But since we switched to organic, our yield dropped to 20 tons an acre.
Right.
A normal farmer gets 40 tons an acre.
Oh, half of it, yeah?
Yeah, initially.
That drastic.
Initially it does, because you are just changing the soil. It takes time to regain fertility, and then once fertility increases, it kind of matches chemical-based production, but that takes time. And this was our first year. And we thought, people would appreciate the fact that this fruit tasted like heaven and pay a higher value for it, which would compensate for the loss in production. And we went to these mandis where farmers sell their goods. Till that day, There was no plan of creating a brand, a business, nothing. The idea was get up in the morning,
Grow.
tend to the cows, administer the farm, harvest the produce, and sell it to somebody who will take care of the marketing. And we went to the mandi in the morning at 4 a.m. This all this auction process happens where farmers get their goods and the traders sell it off to buyers. And the trader came back to us saying that the market is trending at 10 bucks a kg and you have got 4 rupees a kg. And we said, how come is, the quality is amazing. He said, your fruit looks ugly from the outside. And organic is ugly. It's not right size, it's blemishes, spots, no equal shine, because nature has designed it. And he said a consumer eats by his eyes first and then by his tongue. And your fruit doesn't appeal to the eye. So it's no way to reach his tongue. And that felt like a tight slap across our face, because for 3 years we have been farming.
Exactly.
And we thought somebody would appreciate it and give us a value and it would help us remain sustainable. That day it told us that there is no somebody who would do that. We would have to get into that shoe and also create a platform, create a brand and then sell it at the right price to the right consumer. And then we realized that, farming is like riding a bicycle. On one pedal you need farming, regenerative, technical aspect. On one pedal you need the platform, marketing, branding, and the selling skills. So that's how we kind of got that commercial viability in place by creating a brand.
So tell me now that you've understood that there are a couple of legs that on which the business is going to run, what are your responsibilities and what is your brother's responsibilities?
Now that we both have kind of got this responsibility of helping many more farmers by increasing the brand and the business on the front side and the back side. Today we work with more than 5,000 farmers at the back end. We have our own manufacturing capabilities near the farm, where we employ 200-300 women from our village, and we market it under our own brand name. No white labeling, no outsourcing. So Ajinkya has a natural inclination towards manufacturing, operations, finance, and I have a natural inclination towards brand building, branding, marketing. So I do these aspects, he does those aspects.
That explains your presence here.
Yeah. I get to roam across the good cities, I think.
I want to get into, it's interesting. It's called Two Brothers. It's interesting that both of you started. I believe there were a couple of years in between, like you left your job first and then he left his job.
He left
his job first and then you left your job, right? But what happens when you guys are not on board? Well, are there any differences in the way you guys operate, or ideology differences, or any kind of differences for that matter between the two of you? Has it ever happened that you guys...
Oh yes, we are humans and we are brothers.
Right.
And there is a difference of opinion nearly every single day. We decide to agree or disagree and then, continue ahead. And, the challenge is so huge to make this a success that our differences seem seemingly very small in front of us.
For the bigger picture,
absolutely,
this looks pretty small.
Yeah.
You were talking about the way the fruit looked. How did you come around that? Like, finally, what did you do to make the fruit look more appealing?
Nothing. I spend time, effort, and resources in telling consumers why ugly is good, and why they need to accept food the way nature has designed it. It will be oddly shaped.
This is very exhausting. So, पहले आप अपने आप को educate करो. You educate yourself, and then you educate the consumers as well. So it's not only just like growing crops and farming, but it's also like a full-fledged process.
It's creating a community. It's spreading awareness. So today morning, we were sitting with, I think, 25-30 customers for lunch who are in Dubai, and we call them over. So meet and greet and tell them why their choice affects what it does at the back end, and how it affects their health. Yesterday evening, we had 50-60 customers who we met for dinner. Today morning for breakfast, we had a couple of community members who came across. A lot of what we do is based around creating awareness. There's nobody doing it. The government is not doing it, and there's no other person who's putting money to do this. And we feel that personally that this is the way forward. If farmers continue farming chemically, the farms will die. nature's already destroyed. Water resources are getting polluted. Biodiversity, both above and below the soil, is getting destroyed. And look at what you're eating. The food you're getting out of this system is destroying your body, your health completely. So we believe personally that, this is the kind of farming that should be done. This is the kind of food that you should eat. And it's so logical. You know everything about AI and technology and everything else. But what you're ingesting, what you're putting in your body, you know very little. How it affects your health and what it does to the back end ecosystem. So we find it a pleasure in telling people and opening their eyes. It gives us a kick when you understand what we're talking and you appreciate it. So we love doing that awareness.
I'm going to come to the green revolution part of the conversation a little later, but do you think people consume non-organic or people consume chemical products because it doesn't really have an immediate effect on your health, or because the effects, first of all, are there any immediate effects on your health if you do not consume the right products? Because people are always looking for cheaper options, right? And immediately it's not really affecting your health. Do you think that's the reason people still stick to the chemically raised products?
One is it's cheap.
Right.
Secondly, it's easily available because 99% of farmers are growing that. And thirdly, the ill effects of having food with chemicals is not immediate. After 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you start accumulating those chemicals in your body. They start disrupting some of the other function in your body. And some of the other chronic disease appears after 6, 7, 8, 10 years of consuming this kind of food.
Right.
Nothing just comes up immediately. And that's why people don't see the reaction to the reaction immediately and feel nothing is happening. But now that research is there, now that people around you, look at the people who have chronic illnesses around you, in your family, within your friends, you'll find a couple of cases. This was not the case 30, 40 years back, 20 years back. Today, why is it popping up? Today, I would say a lot of people have autoimmune diseases, chronic illnesses. And, what is the reason for it? Air, water, food. You can't control air and water. That's not in your hand. The food you're ingesting is something that's in your hand. So I believe that, people should be penny wise and pound wise also, and look at the long-term effects of what they're ingesting in their body.
So that brings me to the feasibility of it all. We live in a country where people are not even getting food properly. Do you think the accessibility to regenerative, organic, natural food is a possibility in a long run? The green revolution happened, the use of pesticides and all these things happened to kind of increase the yield, right? And on one hand, the battle to bring back the fertility in the soil is a huge battle. It's a long battle. It's going to take years and all that. And then in a country where people are not even getting food, a 2 meal a day, how feasible does this sound to us?
Today, 90% of the diseases or the illnesses people have is due to excess food.
Oh, is it?
You think about it. Obesity, diabetes, all these major illnesses are because of excess food. It's not due to the lack of food. Gone are the days when there was food scarcity. Since the last 30 years, there is no food scarcity.
Is it only in the urban areas that people have obesity and all that, in the rural areas?
This is across.
Okay.
Yes, this is across India.
Okay.
India has become the diabetes capital of the world. People are getting obese across. So it's having extra calories. It's having extra food that's creating issues with us today. So I don't believe that there is not... organic will not suffice or, kind of give food to the 8 billion people across the world. Organic will give. The only issue is that today 70% of farmers don't grow food. They grow cash crops. They grow commodities which are traded globally.
Can you expand on that? What do you mean that they grow commodities in cash crops?
Farmers across the world grow sugarcane, canola, palm oil, wheat, soya and maize. Now, all these, if you analyze closely, are not used for end human consumption. Most of it goes to make fuel. Most of it goes as animal feed. So, 70% of farmers are growing commodities. They're growing cash crops. Only 30% of farmers are growing real food. What is real food? Fruits, vegetables,
lentils.
pulses, lentils, legumes, grains, How many farmers are growing it? You grow across my region in Western Maharashtra, 90% is sugarcane. You just drive for hundreds of kilometers, it's only sugarcane. Where do you and I eat sugarcane daily? We just need 1 teaspoon of sugar in a day or 2 teaspoons. What if all those farmers grew real food? So we can feed the entire world clean food. But why are they not growing it? Because they're not getting compensated as much as a cash crop would compensate them. Why are they not getting compensated? Because chemical inputs increase yields in such a way that there is oversupply. So if you remove chemicals, supply drops, the prices remain high or affordable. Farmers will grow food crops. They won't ruin their soil with monocropping cash crops, and consumers will get access to clean food, real food.
So it's going to help everyone in a long run. You're saying that of course your health is going to be restored, and then the farmers are going to switch to growing real crops, and then
Absolutely.
I was on your website, Satyajit, and I was checking out all the products that you guys have, and it's quite a range of products. And I understand that these can be preserved from jaggery, from ghee and all that. So is that a conscious effort to like kind of grow foods that can be preserved for a longer
It is
shelf life?
a conscious effort, because when we started farming, we had drumsticks and pomegranate and papaya as our fruit, as our produce.
Right.
And we realized that this requires cold storage and cold chain for me to make it last longer. And my orchard gives me 500 tons in a single day. I cannot time it to give me 5 tons every day. And then I have to store this.
Right.
And that requires a lot of capital at the back end, cold storage and cold chaining. So we started thinking that, how do I create a product out of my farm produce that can last on the shelf for more than 12 months, doesn't require any fancy cold chain, cold storage, any investment. And I can courier it to anybody across the world. So we looked at tradition. Traditionally, how was the nutrition of milk preserved for longer? By making ghee.
Ghee. Right.
Ghee lasts for 12 months, 14 months, 18 months.
Right.
How was the nutrition or the goodness of sugarcane preserved? By making jaggery.
Right.
How was the nutrition of lemons and mangoes preserved? By making pickles.
Right.
So we decided to make products like they were made traditionally, and without any preservative, additive, binder, filler, color, essence, perfume, and then tell people that this is what your grandmother used to make and this is what you were consuming all your lives. And this is the food that you should be having.
And this is completely chemical free. There are no pesticides used and all that. I was actually reading one of your interviews where you spoke about natural, ways of keeping it away from the pests, right? Tell our listeners about that.
Oh yeah, so there are very innovative ways of keeping pests away. One is you understand fundamentally that 100% of the crop is not yours. You're not the only living organism that lives in this world. There are, I think 100 times more insects and, other creatures that live.
Right.
So you understand that. And then you implement pest management techniques, which are integrated pest management. So you don't plant monocrops. Now what happens is that if there's a monocrop, there's one single crop spread across hundreds of acres. How pests behave is that in the evening, one guy will come. He'll say there's a dawat. Next day he'll go and call all his fellows and you'll have an infestation.
Right.
Now when you do mixed cropping, you're planting drumsticks with pomegranates, with papaya, with mango, with a chikku. The guy comes,
Gets confused.
He says, there's nothing.
Mixed up.
And so that integrated pest management happens. Now when you have only a pomegranate orchard, it's difficult for a bird to sit on a pomegranate branch because that branch has all thorns. And a bird does integrated pest management. But when you have drumstick trees planted, alternate to pomegranate trees, the drumstick branches are soft. A sparrow, a bird can come and sit out there, and those 4-5 trees, it can control the worms and the pests on those 4-5 trees. That is one method.
Right.
And finally, what do you spray when there is a pest, apart from doing all of this? So we make something called Dashaparni Arka, which is a non-violent pesticide. It is made from
10
leaves of 10 trees that cows do not eat, that act like repellent, like neem.
Right.
You ferment that and use it as a spray. So all this combined, you can get a decent harvest and live with it.
It's as effective as using pesticides?
No, it's not as effective. You will never ever get 100% control over the crop. But like I said, 5-10% you will have to leave and lose, because in the process of controlling that 100%, you end up spraying so many chemical pesticides. You'll be startled to know, some of my village farmers are grape farmers, and they spray close to 140 chemical sprays day and night throughout the year. A 20-year back, there were 7 or 8 sprays in the entire year. Today, it's become
Wow.
140 sprays in a year. So
And,
100%
and, and
control
the
is,
pests are also getting immune to all the
they're
sprays
getting
that you...
immune, they're getting
Right,
super immune.
right.
And all that is coming into our food chain.
So, somebody who's been doing the job for the last 10 years, more than 10 years, why do you think then we are not really going in this way when regenerative farming is the way to go to kind of eat healthy? It's better for the farmers as well. Why are we still sticking to chemical farming?
See, there's an entire system that's designed around conventional farming. Agriculture universities that produce agricultural graduates in a 4-year course, 99% teach you about conventional chemical-based farming. So where is the knowledge base of practicing organic-based farming? Who earns in organic farming? I don't buy any seeds. I don't buy any pesticides. I don't buy any herbicides. I don't buy any chemical fertilizers. So, there is no industry benefiting. So there is nobody lobbying with the government. The ones who benefit from chemical farming lobby hard with the government to keep this entire system ongoing. So, that is one big thing. And farmers have been brainwashed in the last 60 years to use chemical fertilizers to do away with their home seed bank. Today, a farmer, if he has to grow wheat and he has produced hundreds of tons of wheat, all that wheat is non-germinating. The seed companies have designed all the seeds to not germinate again. So you compulsory have to go next year and buy wheat from that company itself.
It's quite a vicious circle then, yeah.
I mean, it's a scary circle. You control the seed to life. And that's what becomes difficult for farmers to skip and do their own seed, do their own fertilizers. The know-how is missing. The platform to market organic is not there. Government doesn't have anything. There are brands like us who are working towards creating small platforms and giving justice and premium to farmers who are doing it the right way and getting chemical-free produce to consumers the right way. But I believe we need 100,000 brands like these. There are 600,000 villages in India. There can easily be 500,000 brands that work in a way like this and give you clean produce.
What's the premium that you give to the farmers, if you could break that down for us?
So it anyway varies between 20% to 40%. So our milk farmers get 35-40% premium because we tell them to keep Indian indigenous cows, which lactate less than a Jersey or a Holstein cow. And that loss in productivity needs to be met with a premium price. But we believe that the milk from these cows is better for you. It contains the A2 protein, which is now very famous, but it is good for you. The cow, for that farmer to maintain, is much more easier. It is much more pest resistant, drought resistant. And the cow dung of that cow is good for his organic farm. So anyway, between 20% to 40% is the premium we give
to the farmers. Before I come to the UAE market, we're very happy that two brothers, India Farm, you guys are coming to the UAE as well. There's a very interesting story about how you actually shipped some of your products to a gentleman in the US.
Yes.
Could you please tell us a little more about that? Because it kind of gives a great insight as to how a business can actually flourish. And it just literally starts with one consumer sitting 7 seas across, right?
That's the power of community.
Right.
So we were doing this kind of farming and selling our products on farmers markets, Sundays, and on our website, very basic, simple website in India. And there's this guy, Siddharth Shukla from Michigan, who called us and spoke to me and Ajinkya and said that I've seen your content on YouTube and your videos. And
he connected through the website itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Through our Facebook page he was following, and then from there he connected. He said, I believe the way you're making ghee is the right way of making ghee. I'm a North Indian, but from the last 15 years settled in US, I'm missing ghee made this way. All my life I've had ghee which was made from the Bilona method, milk, curd, makhan ghee.
Right.
And in the US you get butter oil as ghee. It's anhydrous. It's very difficult to even smell that. And he said, I'm missing this. I would love if you send me a bottle of ghee. And I told him, it's difficult because you need licenses to export and all that. But he was persistent. For over, I think, 8-9 months, he used to call us every month and tell us, do something but send me one bottle of ghee. So for the love of his interest, we took all those licenses.
What kind of licenses are
You need an
involved?
export-import license. You need a dangerous good license. You need a MSDS license. You need a code with DHL Express. So all of those take some time. Yeah.
Wow.
And we got that ready only for sending Siddharth Shukla
Right.
this ghee. And then we packed the courier and we sent it to him. Got delivered within 4 days in Michigan. He opened it, he smelled the ghee, he had the ghee, he put his mobile and he did an extempore video about how this ghee is, what it is, and then word of mouth spread. And then suddenly we realized that, oh, we can open the website for international orders. With, the ability to send to one person means the ability to send to 100,000 persons. And
Right.
from there, word of mouth grew and we have now customers across the world because of that, customers who insisted to send us.
Right. What's the plan for the UAE? Like, so if somebody wants to get in touch with you, order products. I'm guessing, how does the transfer of the products from India to the UAE happen? What's the turnaround time? Tell us everything about that.
We've had many consumers who are buying the products based in Dubai and the UAE who are paying a very exorbitant courier charge to ship it from India. So, for example, they used to buy atta and jaggery at 200 rupees, but pay a charge of 1,000 for the courier, the shipping charges.
Right.
And yet, in spite of these challenges, they were consuming the products out here. And so then we realized that there is this opportunity to be closer to them, to get the products in bulk through water, which is the most cost-effective way of shipping a product.
Right.
You can't ship retail orders, but you can get large bulk orders out here. And so we have established an office out here. We have established a legal entity. We have a team that's full-time working alongside us in Dubai, and we have a warehouse that houses all the products. And now we are tied up with Noon. We are tied up with Amazon. And soon we are going to tie up with the modern retail chains across UAE and Dubai, and our own website. So our Dubai website is live. If you go on Google and type Two Brothers Foods, Dubai, you'll find the website. You get our range of products from our own website, and we deliver to you within now 1 or 2 days across Dubai and UAE.
Wow. I'm a foodie myself. I've been creating recipes for like last 10 years now. I run something called Loki's Kitchen. I cannot wait to get my hands on your ghee and jaggery and start using them in my recipes.
Absolutely, it'll be a pleasure to serve you.
No, seriously, I'm very, very excited about it. I also wanted to understand the business side of the of your venture. What kind of a team do you have? I'm sure you have like you said, 5,000 farmers and more, right? Do you also have dietitians? Do you have marketing people, sales people, social media? Tell me different departments that you guys are building and how does it work?
So very interesting. When we started, it was only me and Ajinkya who was doing all of it, and we were enjoying it. We had enjoyed it thoroughly. And there were these villagers who were supporting us. Vasant Mama, Nagesh, Pandu Mama, who are now fortunately the stakeholders in the company also. The first guy to join us was Akash, Pritam and Divya. And I remember my conversation with Divya. She's yet with the team. She was a biotech MBA and working in the health industry. And she told me, she's been following the work that we do and she believes in it and wanted to work with us. Or even Yash, who joined us, who's heading marketing. Pedigree education, and I actually tested their limits. I said, boss, you will join at half the package. They've joined.
So Divya, you were saying about Divya, you asked her what's the package you're expecting?
So I told Divya, what's your package? And she told me her package. I said, boss, it's impossible. I cannot afford you. So let's forget it. So she said, interview me. And we used to half the time drive from the farm to Bombay for farmers markets or buy the raw materials for packaging or do farming. And I couldn't interview her for 3 months. And she was consistently behind us. And then what she did is she took her own phone and recorded her own interview for 17 minutes. I had that interview. And she asked herself questions. She answered it herself.
She presumed questions that you would ask and then
And she answered it. And 17-minute interview, she sent it on WhatsApp. And she said, when you're driving to Bombay or back to the farm, listen to this. And if you feel that, I deserve to work with you guys, then call me. And then me and Ajinkya listened to it. And we said, you more than deserve. I can see the passion. when she was interviewing herself and answering the questions. And we took her on. And she came from a MBA biotech background, health industry, but started handling content. I told her there is no work in health and industry and all that. The only work I have now is to help me spread awareness and develop content around what we're doing. And she took up that mantle. And she did it for, I think, 3, 4, 5 years. And now she heads training and development. And she trains all the teams in product knowledge.
I'm curious to know, like, how did the package thing work out then? Did you guys negotiate? Did you guys
Yes.
meet her?
So, and honestly, we couldn't afford because we were not paying ourselves any money that time. And so we told her that this is all we can afford. Don't want to kind of blackmail you to anything, but she said, it's my decision, it's my call. I will accept this. I'll work from home. That will save me some costs, but I'll work at whatever you're proposing. And she started working with us from that day. I think Dhirendra, who left his job in Singapore with DHL, and he had come to the farm and he had seen the farm and he decided to leave his job and come back and do farming and then ultimately work with us to head the US business. So he has the US business. He joined at a cut, a Singapore University graduate, worked out there, came back, actually farmed for some time and then joined us to head the international business. There's Yash, who joined us 2 years back. He wrote to us. He's an IIT Madras, IIM Ahmedabad student. A very young guy, 3, 4 years experience. And he said, what you're doing has a very strong sense of purpose. And I have worked in many industries and somewhere it's not satisfying my personal growth, parameters. And I want to work with you guys. I told him, with the pedigree education you have, you might get a career anywhere else in life. If you join us, it'll be my responsibility, and it's a liability because your future is in my hand. I said, I don't know where we are heading to.
Right.
2 years back, we were just everywhere, and he decided to join us, and he heads marketing now. So I believe there are many people who joined us because of the fact that they felt a strong sense of purpose, and since then it's become a goal of sorts for me and Ajinkya that this company exists to take care of farmers, to take care of consumers, but also to create a platform where talent that wants to work in a purpose-driven sector can come and grow both professionally and personally.
I believe that you guys also teach farmers as to how to kind of do natural farming, right? So that's another part of the process. Yeah.
Yeah. So while we were doing farming, many farmers came and plugged into us because they were seeing that my farm needed less water. My farm survived a drought better, and my input costs were lower, and I was getting a good value for my produce. So they came and plugged into us, and we started sharing those practices with them. And one thing led to the other. Initially, I think the first farmer training we had was some 7, 8 farmers, and then it spread gradually to addressing many farmers now at large gatherings, but mostly telling them about an alternative that we are doing, an alternative that lies in front of them, to also imbibe a sense of pride in what they're doing. We realize that if tomorrow no farmer's son and daughter wants to become a farmer, this profession will die.
True.
And it's such a noble profession. It pays you less and all that is secondary.
True.
You can, with your skills, make this profession economically more viable and better. And we tell this by telling our own examples, by showing them the little success that we have got in establishing a brand, in creating some wealth, and also, helping them by having a team now on ground. So we have a team whom we call the farmer relationship managers. These guys handhold farmers from seed stage to harvest stage. They meet him every month, tell him what fertigation, irrigation methods the farmer needs to do, and then take his harvest at a premium.
It's interesting that you're talking about this because I started the whole conversation with a piece to the camera about how people don't really want to be farmers, largely because there's no respect and dignity. And I'm so happy that with this venture of yours, you're actually bringing that respect and dignity to the whole profession of farming. I'm going to wrap up, Satyajit, right now. My last question to you is, there are 3 things, basically. We spoke about social impact, how you're inspiring young farmers to come on board, how you're inspiring young professionals to leave their lucrative job and be a part of this mission. We're also talking about health, how it is imperative for all of us to eat healthy, for us to be healthy in a long run. My biggest concern is the commerce side of it. If you can just break it down for us as to how this is going to be commercially viable. I know it's a slow process. I know it's a long process, But if you can just break it down to our listeners as to how it is the eventual solution to good health and commercial viability as well.
See, commercial viability is there because the brand, has a lot of trust now, and that translates to consumers paying the right price. That enables us to pay farmers the right price, and then that enables farmers to continue the good practices that they're doing. So it all starts with consumers understanding and paying the right price. So that is one thing which is already happening. In the last 10 years, we have proven it. In India, we have more than 500,000 customers that do this repeatedly every month by paying us the right price for it. Also, like I said, on the farming side, we tell farmers why this is the sustainable way of doing farming in the long term, why it benefits them. On the front end, we tell consumers why investing in health is not an expense. It's an investment. Everything else in the world you can buy, but you can't get your health back. You spend disproportionately on your car, on your device, but you're not spending on your health. And there's a statistic in the US which says that 30 years back, an average household spent 14% of its income on food and groceries. And today, an average household in the US spends 8%. It's not that food is not is costly or something. People have started spending lesser. Their priorities towards spending on something else has increased. So I'm saying that go back to that 14%.
Go back to the basics. Yeah.
Go back to the basics and spend on that. It creates an entire ecosystem that benefits your next generation, and this spend actually helps you live a longer, healthier life.
Next time, I'm sure this is going to happen with me for sure. I'm sure it's going to happen with a lot of us when we're going to the hypermarkets and the supermarkets and we're walking down the aisle and we go to the organic section, and despite the fact that it's going to be like 10 dirhams, 15 dirhams, more expensive. But I think this conversation definitely has made that change in my mind, at least, how important it is for good health, for farmers and things in a long run overall. Satyajit, thank you so much for joining us on this conversation. Before we let you go, anything that you have to say to especially to the consumers here in the UAE, any message?
Yeah, would love to tell them that there are many people who miss authentic, good food, that they used to get back in home or back in the days. So rest assured, we are here to serve you all that food and develop your trust back in food. And also, anybody who's listening, anybody who likes what we are doing, the way we are doing it, is invited to come and visit our farm in Bhodani in Pune district. You can write to us on our website and we'll happily host you out there.
Superb. Speaking of serving food, what I'm going to do is right now end this podcast with serving you two varieties of food. One of them is organic, the other one is not. Now you have to eat them, and we're going to test you right now, and let's see whether you can differentiate between the two or not.
I hope so.
Let's have. I'm sure you will. You've been doing this for like more than a decade. It's this. You can do this in your sleep. Okay, we're going to start with jaggery first. Yeah. आप देख के बता दोगे ना सत्यजीत?
I can tell you.
even me also.
अच्छा, even you.
You can just bring it a bit low. Yeah, but I'll yet have it and tell you. I can smell this only. This is the organic one.
The other one is, this is the organic one, yeah?
The dark copper color. You can smell that other jaggery. You can literally smell it. This is soft and caramelized and...
Okay, which one is organic then? This one is organic? Okay. You passed the test. We have another one, by the way. We have ghee for you.
Let me smell both of them.
Okay.
One sec.
You look like a scientist smelling, ghee. It's like we are in a lab right now, and then...
No. This is the organic one. That's horrible, that is.
Then
It's crazy. The smell, right? No?
So,
my God.
So tell me why one of them is in semi-liquid form, the other one is pretty...
See, like I said, the cultured ghee is the only ghee that melts below human body temperature. The uncultured is cream-based ghee, the
Fair.
market ghees. They melt above human body temperature. And the cultured ghee is made by converting, milk to curds and then churning to get white butter. So that taste, the aroma, the health benefits are far different than cream-based ghee. It's the easiest, cheapest way to make ghee.
So you could look at it and tell, like, this is
yeah.
right. Okay.
But when you taste it, it's horrible. I mean, honestly, it's crazy. In the worst ghees comparison, the only one that's worse than this is the one I had in the US. That's butter oil. It's crazy. And then it's in Costco and they call it ghee. You can't even smell it. It's so bad.
So, as you know, the man knows his products and he knows his food. Okay, so coming from a reliable source. Thank you so much, Satyajit, for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
More power to Two Brothers India Farm, and welcome to the UAE. And we would love to try all your products. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.